This is episode 28 on the Live Blissed Out podcast. Want to learn how to attain better health in body and mind? We'll talk about that. Did you know that research states that up to 90% of the fibers in your visceral nerve, called the vagus nerve, carries information from your gut to your brain? Simply put, your brain is able to interpret your gut signals as emotions, so you should likely trust your gut. Hello, action takers. Welcome to Live Blissed Out, a podcast where I have authentic conversations with business owners and subject matter experts to help us get the scoop, the 411, and the lowdown on a variety of topics. Tired of hesitating or making decisions without having the big picture? Want to be in the know? Then this is the place to go. I'm your host, Marissa Houston, helping achieve bliss through awareness and action. Thanks for joining me. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. This podcast should not be considered professional advice. My guests are Mia Marchadesch-Jaranilla and Bunny Tamesis, founders of Find Your Fierce Global. Bunny and Mia go way back since 2006. They grew up in Manila, Philippines, and now live in Jakarta, Indonesia, and Singapore, respectively. They were fairly active. Bunny was into yoga, and Mia was into badminton and running. However, they were also uninspired, unmotivated, and frustrated that their bodies were aging faster than the years going by. They kept on increasing physical activity, yet felt that they were not in control of who they are despite efforts that they were desperately trying. Then finally, after 10 years, they both completed this amazing program that transformed not only their bodies, but strengthened their minds. Now, after almost 3 years, they are still enjoying the benefits of that change in the mind-body transformation they learned back then. They have since continued to do their own research and gather knowledge to share it with every woman who seeks change in mindset and skill set. Their goal is to build a community of women who want to achieve rejuvenation and enjoy the maturing process gracefully. The Fierce framework is comprised of food, insides, exercise, right mindset, correct hormones, and environment. For more information, visit their website at miaymarch.com. Hi, Mia and Bunny. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Marisa. It's so nice to be in your show. So excited.
Hi, Marisa.
Thank you so much. I really am looking forward to talking to you about the mind-body connection because I know that we all go through struggles and we want to take steps towards healing ourselves in both mind and body. However, we often don't know what this means or how to go about addressing this. I know that you established a community called Find Your Fierce. I'd really like to know from you why you chose the word fierce.
That's a very good question, Marisa. So when I was wanting or struggling to find my own wellness, I found the word fierce to be very true or very close to my heart because when change happens and when you want it to happen so bad, you have to be courageous. You have to just commit and tell yourself that no matter what happens, you have to overcome it. So fierce was a word that grounded me when I wanted to do this transformation for myself.
Bunny, I wanted to ask you then, why did you decide to join Mia when she established this community?
Thanks, Marisa, for that question because that's exactly what came into my mind when the first thing she asked me to join her. And I said, why me? And after going through her website, her Find Your Fears, and I know Mia, she's a good friend from Singapore, even since Manila. And I said, Mia, I'd like to join you in this because I believe that women out there need to find ways to make themselves better, meaning to say, to have a better life. Some of us have forgotten that as mothers, as wives, our priorities have become our husbands and our children, and that we've forgotten to prioritize ourselves. So I think it's about time, and I think at our age, Mia's and my age, that we've discovered hey, we've lost ourselves along the way, and let's try to gather up that fierceness we used to have so that we can build a better life for ourselves, better health, and for our families. So I joined Mia in this, and I said, yeah, why not?
What are the principles that guide you with this community? And what are some of those benefits that you feel come from applying these principles?
When we came together, we really asked ourselves, why? Why do we want this change? And so the anchor that we were stuck to is the why, the power of it. Because as you get older, as you age, we realize that it's more than just aesthetics. that we want now. The grounding force is finding more than the weight, more than the dress size maybe, or more than just looking good, is the feeling good. And when you have a lot to give, the others benefit from it. So through this, our families, our friends, we have transformed a lot of women throughout, that the thank yous that we get is so special, because when you find the change and you find that deeper meaning into life, more than just the 10 pounds, it adds more value and it becomes priceless. That's what we are here for, to gather all women out there to see that change happen.
Could you speak to why we need to change our mindset? Why is that so important in terms of how our mind and body connect to get us to reach the goals that we want to achieve in our lives?
First off, physically, our mind and our body are, of course, they're all connected, right? Our mind doesn't function separately. Our body doesn't function separately. They're one. And what we believe in here in Find Your Fierce Global is that it begins all with the mind. We have to decide first, discover first, realize first in our mind where we are currently and what are the things that we need to do to be able to achieve our goals. So it all begins in the mind. And that way, we believe that to be able to reach your health goals, you've got to look back and think and address, how am I going to do this? What is going on with me? Where am I going to go with this? And really, why? Why do I want to do this? And I think what Mia said is we really begin with why. Why do you want a transformation? Why do you want freedom? Why do you want to embrace absolute wellness? Why do you want to have a transformation in physical body? And the deeper we ask why, we will realize that it's more than just the physical. It's just more than aesthetics. And one of that is even beyond, I don't want to take medicines for so long. It can be as simple as that, but really why in the end? Thinking with the mind really will lead you, I realize my mind has settled. This is my decision with my mind. Then my body will follow.
We know that change is difficult, but it's something that's inevitable. It's something that happens to all of us, whether we choose it or not. And sometimes change can be a good thing and sometimes maybe not. But when we know that we're faced with having to change, how can we prepare ourselves to be in control when that happens in our lives?
Yeah, so very good insight. The reason why we find change very difficult is the ownership sometimes is half-baked. What we are campaigning for is be the cause, not the effect. Don't blame anything to circumstance. Don't blame your parents for it. So here we want you to find yourself really to commit to the change, because once you see that change is inevitable and change is really that you can't escape from, you will actually embrace change. And once you embrace that change, you are able to do so much more. You're so much freer. So it's really just the commitment. And I know commitment is such a heavy word, right? But the commitment will actually free you more, because we all know that knowledge is freedom, but applied knowledge is where we want to take you to that action, to that next step. It's really about that. It's helping you, guiding you, every woman out there. Commit to that.
Yes, I completely understand that, because awareness is the first step, and really being able to understand, as you mentioned, your why, understanding what the cause is of wherever it is that you're at in your life right now and where you want to go will help you get there. And so it starts with the knowledge and awareness. As we age, we all have to experience some sort of illness at some point in our lives. And it's not something obviously that is pleasant at any stage. Some illnesses are simple ones and some are very complicated and difficult. How then do we stay well so that we can extend the quality of life that we have, so that we can enjoy ourselves even as we age?
When we say here it's simple, it's not easy. So simple is a word that we really want you to understand that nothing is really easy in life unless you really own it, right? So simple here means that when we want to campaign with other women on not to get really ill, is giving you more information, giving you more of that information so that you can apply it. I know it's easy to say, let's eat healthy, but what really is healthy? And we all know we need to exercise, but what exercise do we need, right? How many times a week and stuff like that? So we campaign to other women that it really takes a lot of courage to take that first step, to take that very big leap and take that action, to find simple ways for you not to get ill. It's not that you won't get ill in any point in time, but the severe ones, like chronic ones, it can really be avoided. So if we have programs here that tackle both mind and body, and I think Bonnie would like to add to that.
Just to answer Marisa's question also on about simple, right? How simple is it to stay healthy? Well, drinking enough water. That's as simple as it can be, right? Hydrating yourself, keeping yourself hydrated, especially for Marisa, if you're living all the way in Denver, Colorado, where it's snowing. Here in us in Manila or in Singapore and Jakarta, it's heat. It's the heat. So even that, we need to hydrate through the cold, through the heat. We need to keep hydrated. And that's one of the simplest things against anti-aging as well. Most of the products out there for beauty and skin products, anti-aging, what are they made out of? Water. As simple as that. Purified water from the spring. As simple as hydrating will keep you away from illness. Many times you feel like I have a headache. I woke up with a migraine. It could be because you haven't been drinking enough water the past 3 days. It's your everyday, daily activities, daily things you see in your fridge or in the market, in the grocery, that we overlook and we realize, oh, these things I should really keep doing on a daily basis or maybe even more consistently. Now, eating smart or eating clean, what is it really? It's your fruits and vegetables that you normally see in the grocery. It doesn't have to be from the organic market or from packaged imported products. It's simply what you find in your grocery, fresh vegetables and fruits. Fresh meat, rather than having processed meats, rather than having canned and dried noodles all the time. It's as simple as the basic fresh fruits and vegetables and fresh meats. Also, it can be as simple as walking. You don't need to enroll in a gym, or you don't really need to be in a Zumba class or an aerobics class. Carrying your groceries to the door rather than having somebody carry them for you, or climbing up the stairs instead of taking the escalator or elevator to the office. So simple things as keeping active. Lifestyle, healthy habits are really simple. It doesn't need to be so complicated and too expensive either.
I think that really hits home because we as individuals seem to make things a lot bigger than they really need to be. And it's the small changes and the little changes that we make that can have a big impact. And as you were mentioning, if you just change one habit every single time and build on that, then eventually you'll find yourself applying a lot of small habits that then lead to big results. And it doesn't have to be so big as we like to think of it being. And usually when we think it's so insurmountable, we tend to want to just avoid it or deny it because it's just too overwhelming to tackle.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's why Mia and I came together and really built the community that she started, is because women out there have that idea or have that mindset thinking that, what, I need to change my lifestyle, even if their doctor already has told them that, right? But how do I begin? And they still don't know how. It's like for them, as you said, that word unsurmountable, it really becomes, wait a minute, do I really need to change my lifestyle right now, this very minute? Am I not supposed to drink beer or alcohol anymore? So even that daily activities, you just tweak them just to have healthier options, right? And then eventually you build up on that good habit.
And I wanted to add, when we say here, it's really simple. But for some people, it's not easy, right? Because we have built that habit over the years. And it's really not easy to change a habit, right? It's really not. But what we want for women to understand, or for anyone for that matter, is how do you eat an elephant really? It's just one bite at a time. So when we say simple, yes, it's simple, but the word is action. Take action. Anything that will make you a bit better today. As Bonnie said, walking instead of riding, not drinking soda, lessening your soda for today is good enough, drinking more water. It's really the small changes that amounts to bigger stuff in the end, because that's what we really want anyway, is for us to live a better life, right?
Yes, absolutely. And, all of us have habits, correct? So, for example, let's say you have the habit, and most of us do, hopefully, to brush your teeth when you wake up in the morning. And let's say all of a sudden you stop doing it. There are consequences to that. But, when you're used to brushing your teeth every day, even trying to get yourself not to brush your teeth is hard because it's a habit. You've done it all your life. And so now it's just second nature to you. And so that is exactly what you're saying is there's things that you're not used to doing, but you don't have to turn your life around and make big changes. You can do little things so that then you can add to it and slowly add to it until they become a habit and they become much easier to adapt to. Is something that you offer accountability? Would that be something that this community offers to make sure that the people that you work with feel very supported when they're trying to achieve these goals?
Absolutely, because we have a program that tackles both mind and body. And we also offer support by doing one-on-one coaching that is available to anyone who wants it. In fact, for anyone who is not ready for change, speak to us just to get the ball rolling.
Would you mind telling our listeners exactly how they can learn more about you and the community called Find Your Fierce?
Find Your Fierce Global is actually found at miaymarch.com. We have there a tab that has schedule a free 30-minute session, so you can schedule yourself there. Also, you can meet us there. We have backgrounds about ourselves and what we've been doing. Join us also. We have a closed Facebook group at the Find Your Fierce Global also as well, and a Facebook page. So it's all at the same name, Find Your Fierce Global, MIA March.
Yeah, and there we offer a lot of content for women or for anyone who wants to take that first step, to take that action, to have freedom from illness. That's what we really want.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful. Thank you so much to both of you, Mia and Bunny, for being part of the show today. I really appreciate all the information and insight you've shared with us.
Oh, such a pleasure, Marisa. And I'm so grateful. When we said we wanted to be in your show, it's because we know what you campaign for as well. And we're so grateful, Bunny and I.
Thank you so much to both of you.
Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you.
That's all for this episode of Live Blissed Out. Thanks for listening, and thanks to Mia Marchadesch-Jaranilla and Bunny Tamesis for being my guests. If you find value in our show, please visit liveblисsedout.com to reach out, subscribe, and share on social media. This show is made possible through listeners like you. Thank you. So long for now, and remember to keep moving forward.